I was really thrilled with how we came out effort-wise. I thought the energy was high, showed really good poise in the first quarter when some shots weren't falling early, but we were able to withstand their runs. And once we got settled in, I thought offensively we played pretty well. Defensively, we got a lot of work to do, obviously, but all in all, just wanted to see some great effort, wanted to see how some kids performed in a situation that they haven't been in. We worked all season on learning and preparing, but it's actually about performing and what are they going to do when the lights come on, and what are these younger kids going to do when there's fans in the stands and it matters. And I thought we got some of those questions answered tonight.
You think Lex is going to be looking for a shot like this all year?
If Lex shoots the ball like she shot it tonight, we'll be in good shape. She's been shooting the ball extremely well in practice. Teammates do a great job of finding her, and it takes us to another dimension if she's making shots.
Claire McGowan? Question mark? She can really shoot the ball. What do you expect from her as a newcomer?
Well, we expect a lot. We were bringing her in with the expectation that that she would be ready to play, and she's proven that. Can shoot the basketball, does a really good job of penetrating, getting in the lane, breaking defenses down defensively. Is most times in the right spot, things that you want your younger players to do. But, she was one of those kids that went out when it mattered and performed and showed that she's going to be able to give us that depth, which is what we've been looking for. We knew in this recruiting class we had to get some depth, and I felt like when she went in tonight, we didn't really lose anything. And so she's just got to continue to work, continue to play with the confidence. She's kind of got a little chip on her shoulder, which, of course, as a competitor, I really like. So she just goes out every single night and tries to prove people wrong, and that's something I really like about her.
Coach, I know you've answered these questions a little bit with Racer Media Day and so on and so forth, but what really is the expectation with all of these returners and the preseason polls? I know they don't matter, but the league expects you to be in the top three. What are you telling your locker room brick by brick at that point?
Well, we're telling our locker room we're not satisfied with anything less than a championship. I think we have championship caliber players in our locker room. A lot of things have to go your way, and a lot of things have to happen, and you have to stay healthy. I think that's one of the biggest keys for us. Can we stay healthy? Can our younger kids continue to perform at a high level? Can our veterans do their job and do what we know they can do? But it's a day-to-day grind, and this is a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We've got to use all of our non-conference opportunities to get better and be ready for what's going to be a rigorous OVC schedule. I think on any given night, any team can win. But I think we've gotten this program to the point that if we don't expect championships, then we're not doing ourselves any justice. And if anybody knows me, anything less than that's not acceptable. So, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and a lot of process. And a lot of things, again, have to go your way, but we're going to work for that every single day.
In a game like this tonight, who are you looking at more, the starters or your reserve players, or a little of both?
A little of both, and a little bit of rotations, kind of looking at some rotations to see who plays well together and, what fits better, what offense schemes seem to work best with certain players on the floor. Like to be able to look at defense as well, what ball screen defenses can we use with certain lineups. So it's as much about trying to figure that out as it is anything. We ran a couple things that we only ran once. We wanted to get it on film, and we probably won't run it again until conference, So you just do different things and draw a play up and a timeout to see if we can take it from board to floor, just little things like that you kind of play around with that you can't do in a game that matters, because from here on out they count.
You put your starting five in for the first few minutes of the fourth quarter. They go out and get a 10-3 run. I think they were pretty happy with themselves as they came off the court. You were kind of high-fiving them.
Yeah, and mainly for conditioning. I wanted to play them a little bit more for conditioning, if anything else, the speed of the game, and you cannot simulate that in practice. I don't know, it does not matter how hard you try. You can have practice managers, you can have all kinds of people. You cannot simulate game speed and game energy unless you're in the game. So putting them back in was as much for conditioning, plus we were able to run a few things that we wanted to look at.
Coach, the stat sheet obviously never tells the full story. To me, it looked like a lot of these newcomers, transfers and freshmen, came in and really played pretty well for this game and even competed with a lot of the starters. Did you really expect this good of a performance from all of these new players, and do you think they really fit in well for this first game?
Well, from what I've seen in practice, the expectation's been high from them. I think Jada Black is really starting to figure things out. She's learning how to use her body and her footwork around the glass. She's so athletic. When her basketball IQ gets a little stronger as far as what we're trying to have her do, the ability's there. She's just got to put it all together. Once she puts it together, she's going to be extremely dangerous. And I think a player that hasn't been mentioned that's overlooked is Hannah McKay. I mean, she's bigger, faster, stronger than what she was last year. She's all over the court. I'm going to pull my hair out sometimes with her, and she's going to pull her hair out sometimes with me. But for the most part, she's going to give you wow moments. I mean, she's one of those kids that just does a lot of things. Alexis is all over the place, playing well, playing hard, making great decisions, and the leader of the pack, Macy Turley, she's gonna put us where we need to be. So I felt like everybody did something positive, but sometimes you get caught up in Caitlin and you get caught up in Macy and some of those players, and I think what people don't realize is how good our supporting cast can be.
Speaking of Caitlin, something unexpected happened tonight. She got in a little foul trouble there and managed to play through it. You got to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, we talked about that at halftime. I said, I want you to play through this. We figure out a way not to pick up another foul. You have to be physical. You cannot just give up points, but you've got to be able to play because we're going to have you. Got a displacement foul called on her, which was a foul. The one I was disappointed in is when she's reaching in 94 feet from the basket. She can't give up that foul. But for her to be able to go out and play, the time that she played the rest of the game and be able to play good defense and rebound without fouling, I think is a big sign. But, I mean, if we can continue to get the ball inside to her, good things are going to happen for us. She does a really good job finishing for us around the basket.
Coach, this is as tough as a non-conference schedule that I can remember just covering the team, watching the team, maybe the last 8 to 10 years. You've talked a lot about the purposes of those types of things, money, drive, seeing facilities that maybe you won't see. What was the purpose this year to have this tough of a non-conference schedule? We
had to be challenged. We can't sit back and worry about what our non-conference record is. We've got to be prepared for conference because ultimately that's what matters. And we tried to schedule an array of the way people play. We're playing some very athletic teams. We have very athletic teams in our conference. We're playing some very skilled teams. We have skilled teams in our conference. We're playing kids, teams that run dribble drive. We, have teams in our conference that run that, or certain type of offenses and stuff. Did a little bit of studying, trying to figure out a schedule that would put us in a position to maybe see a lot of things that we plan on seeing in conference. But again, knowing that we have to be ready every single night, and I think that that's something that this team is ready for. So as a coach, I felt like it was my obligation not to worry about, my record doesn't matter. It's about getting these players ready to compete at the highest level for conference.
I don't know what the final stats are, Coach, but halftime, your field goal percentage was above 70%. You got to be just thrilled with that.
Yeah, paint points was a big emphasis going to the game. We wanted to get the ball inside. We wanted to drive the ball to the paint. Felt like good things were happening. I told them if we didn't turn it over, we would score, but we turned it over a little bit too much. But, yeah, I probably won't shoot that percentage most nights, but, definitely the 50% from 3 and the 70% at halftime from 2 is pretty good. But I think it just goes to show you the way that these players work together and the type of shots we were getting.